People believe that pigs contain the souls of banished humans. I'm not even gonna cap with you. When I heard this shit, I was like, what the it makes so much sense to me. One, I'll say this already. If you look at a pig's eyes, they strangely look human.
Yeah, they look weird.
There's even a quote in the Bible. Even the demons didn't want to go to hell. They begged Jesus to put them into the bodies of pigs.
Really?
Yes. There's just so many other things of, apparently, bro, pigs can't not even look up at the sky.
Really? If they wanted to?
If they wanted to, they can't. Cannot look up at the sky. So basically that's saying, like, you'll never even be able to, like, look upon the heavens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You feel what I'm saying? And on top of that, bro, most religions do not eat pig. You know what I mean? They say, like, don't eat that, bro. It's
pork,
not, at all. They don't want you to eat pig. I remember this one thing that stuck out to me, bro, and it just confirmed this shit for me, too. I remember there was a serial killer who, he used to eat people, and somebody interviewed him and asked him, what does human beings taste like? And this damn near said it tastes like pig.
Yeah, I remember.
And there's a bunch of other people that have said that were cannibals.
Yeah, what's the face said? The guy that was turning people into burgers.
Yes, he said it too.
He said it tasted like pork.
You're talking about Joe Metheny?
Yeah, Joe Metheny. Yeah.
Yes, bro, that's insane. He said it tastes like pork.
That's crazy.
All these people said the same thing, like human beings taste like pork.
Surprised more people aren't talking about this, but the Vatican is reportedly preparing for an upsurge of supernatural events. According to the report, the Vatican will be releasing a text on May 17th explaining exactly how to discern and deal with apparitions, supernatural forces, and other phenomena. Now, to me, it sounds like spiritual warfare is once again ramping up, and people in certain positions know this and are trying to warn the public. I've already been hearing and seeing multiple posts from people claiming that they and people around them are getting irritated and upset a lot quicker than they normally would, and with strange events happening like massive solar storms hitting the earth, people claiming to see demon faces, and people recording shadows flying by during the solar eclipse, maybe something did shift in our world that we the people need to be mentally and spiritually prepared for. On the other hand, there is a growing group of people that don't trust the Vatican and anything they say whatsoever, and there's a couple of reasons behind it. For starters, it's pretty well known that they have a large archive of religious texts that's hidden from the general public. There's no confirmation as to what's actually in these archives, but some people theorize that there are original texts from books that were taken out of the Bible. People have also pointed out that some of the architecture and artwork in the Vatican looks a little sinister or evil in nature.
To bring the church up to date in responding to a swift spread of claims of apparitions online. You'll notice what is missing from the form is a list of a firm declaration that the phenomenon is supernatural. Not under the new norms, a phenomenon can still be declared supernatural, but it will require a special act of the Pope. Fernandez said that the lack of public clarity also contributed to confusion about the status of apparitions, as he noted that the need to establish an apparition is supernatural in order to give it some form of approval caused extensive delays before committing to the church or even local dioceses. To the idea that an event has established as supernatural, special precautions were needed. That's really interesting. And those who don't know what apparitions are like things that are like that you see that appear, and then when you go to look, they're not there. Those are apparitions. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys remember this. I remember this. It was a group of kids that were out playing or something like this, and basically it was said that the Virgin Mary or someone had appeared to them, and so the kids went to go tell, and when they told this, no one pretty much believed the kids. The lady appeared to a group of local kids to deliver the world a message of peace and conversion through prayer and fasting. But yeah, it was never recognized as supernatural.
Go get your blankets. Oh, and for this episode, you need to get some tea too, because this one might be my best fact about the Vatican. If you are a easily scared person, please scroll. I'm going to be talking about the black magic grimoire that is kept at the Vatican. For those of you asking, I do have a podcast. It's in my bio. The name of my podcast is That's Insane with Aja. And the next episode will be about new facts of the Vatican, and it will be coming out next Thursday. You got your blanket? You got your tea? Let's get into it. So in the last episode, I revealed to you that the Vatican does in fact have a book that is referred to as the Black Magic Grimoire, but the real name of this book is the Gospel of Satan, or the Grand Grimoire. It also has other names like the Red Dragon. As if the Gospel of Satan is not scary enough.
Could be
So
worse
the
than
man that is
Satan.
said to have written this book, his name was Honorius of Thebes. Again, you guys, I butcher names, leave me alone. He also wrote another book. It was called The Sworn Book of Honorius. But do you know why he said he wrote this book? Or its original name, which is the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. The man who actually wrote this was a freaking pope, and it was supposed to only be used by priests. And it first appeared in 1629, which is 400 years after the supposed author, the Pope, wrote it, which means they had it and they didn't release it until the 16th century. Yeah, so apparently this Pope said he was possessed and he spoke with Satan, and that's how he had the instructions in this book. And this book is said to contain some dark things. So again, if you are a easily scared person, please scroll, because we're about to get into the deep of it. So this book is said to allow a person to summon Lucifer. Yeah, and it also has the instruments required for this ritual, and it says that it's a blessing rod. And it also has instructions on how to make a deal with the devil. But you guys, that isn't even the worst thing. They literally go into detail. They say, amongst other things, the person conducting the ritual would require a stone called amalatiel with 2 blessed candles, both of which will be used to form a triangle of pax, so that he/she may be protected from the spirits that have been summoning. And this was called the true method of making pact, or the genuine sectum regnum. Lord, don't let nothing happen to me. I was not summoned in nothing, because yeah, so don't do the my followers, we don't claim that. God, that was some spooky stuff. It is said that it is the most potent grimoire to exist, and it was discovered in the tomb of Solomon. Yeah, this is crazy. And for those of you who don't understand what black magic is, it's associated with inflicting harm, and it's also with providing forms of benefits for protection. And it first originated on cursed tablets that fall into the former category. So the tablets would have really thin pieces of lead, and they would inscribe a curse against an enemy, which would be folded and often sealed and pierced with a nail, and the curses then buried, and commonly in bodies of water, wells, or graves. This is interesting because remember how I told you that they have the actual necropolis below the Vatican, and they said that they found this Grand Grimoire book in the tomb of Solomon, and it was written by a pope? Yeah, it's kind of adding up to me. Oh yeah, and the grimoire also contained techniques for summoning the dead, and as well as invoking angels or demons. This would make sense, seeing as how they have literally every dead body of every pope that worked there. And remember, I told you guys, they literally dug up one of the popes and put him on trial. And the man, they said, was talking to him like he was alive. It's probably because they have the power of necromancy in this book that only the pope can read.
Do you know about any trial like that where they dug up a pope and put him on trial and talked to him like he was a real person? Why would they do something like that? Like, the fact that they were talking to someone that was no longer there is odd to me. Oh, matter of fact, you know what that brings me to? It was a video that I seen where this woman she took her father's ashes and she put them underneath the microscope, and basically what they showed was incredible. I'm telling you. I'm putting it together. I get why they probably did that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Just listen.
Story about the woman who cremated her father, took his ashes, put it under a microscope, and she seen the universe. This is one of the images this lady seen of her father's ashes. It looked just like the universe or some type of star cluster. This is more images of her father's ashes. We are really star dust in the universe, trapped in the physical body. This is why they say so above, so below. If you see stars above your head, you must know that we are also stars. We are made of stars. That's why so many of us say we are star seeds. I guess that's why they say from ashes to ashes, dust to dust, because we are really stardust. That's why spirituality is so important, because once you get your spiritual roots back in connection, you will understand that you are a star seed. You will understand that you can travel the universe. Whatever the stars do above your head, we can also do. That's why they say the universe is nothing but a big ass mirror, because once you look up and see these stars, you are really seeing everyone that's walking around on this planet. People in your family, strangers, your relationships, they are all stars. When you look at images like this, it's like you're looking in a telescope, looking up at the night sky, trying to see what the universe really look like.
10 heavens in the book of Enoch. Some of the beings Enoch seen in the higher levels of heaven frightened Enoch so much that he fell down in terror. The first heaven is directly above the firmament. The firmament is described as some kind of barrier surrounding the earth that has another body of water above it that is bigger than every ocean on earth, according to the book of Enoch. The second heaven is a prison for the fallen angels. The third heaven Enoch saw was a heaven full of paradise for the righteous people. However, there is also another side of this heaven that is similar to hell, and it's for the unrighteous people. The fourth heaven is where the solar and lunar tracks are. This means Enoch seen how all the astrological constellations operated. The fifth heaven is where the watchers are. These are the angels that mated with humans and made the Nephilim, giants, and demons. The watchers are described as looking like humans, but giant in comparison. Sixth heaven has 7 groups of archangels. They are described as being extremely bright beings that are even brighter than the sun. The seventh heaven was so frightening to Enoch that he literally began trembling with fear. In this heaven, he seen the fiery armies of the archangels, the seraphim, the cherubim, the dominions, the origins, the authorities, and the many-eyed thrones, and even more angels. We don't know most of the angelic races I named, however, we can just imagine how frightening this was. The 8th heaven is where the seasons are changed. The 9th heaven is where the zodiac is contained. And the 10th and last heaven has God himself present. Enoch describes God's face as being supremely awesome and supremely frightening. There are also cherubs and seraphim angels singing in this heaven. Worse than Satan. The book of Enoch explained a group of fallen angels known as the Watchers, and what they did will shock you. I'll explain the worst of these angels at the end of the video, so stay until the end. There are 200 of these angels that fell, and here are a few of their names: Samyaza, Azazel, Armaros, Arakil, and Barakil. Now let me explain why these angels are so bad. Azazel taught mankind how to make weapons for war. This act alone resulted in chaos, even still to this day. But it gets far worse. The leader of these angels, Samyaza, is far worse than Satan himself. Here's why. Not only was Samyaza the one responsible for leading every fallen angel to sin, he also led a series of experiments with the other fallen angels. They created a series of twisted, disfigured beings with human DNA and animal DNA. This whole story is spoken about in the Book of Giants. It says the 200 angels chose animals on which to perform unnatural acts, including, presumably, humans. I plan on releasing a full video on this.
They wasn't doing anything with the animals, right? You know what I mean. Let's hope not.
Story. If you are interested...
Ethiopia is home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and is the only country in Africa that was not colonized. And because of that, they can trace their lineage all the way back to Ham, one of the sons of Noah. This has even been collaborated with the Jews. But this video is not about the country itself, but about what the country possesses. Ethiopia has some of the oldest Bible scrolls that ever existed, even older than the famous KJV Bible. Other than the 66 books that make up the King James Bible,
Wait.
the Ethiopic Bible has 88 books. And
Wait a minute. So wait, the Ethiopian Bible is older than the Bible that we are currently looking at now. So why aren't we following the Ethiopian Bible instead? Like what? That makes no sense to me. Why aren't we following that book?
The book has scrolls from the Old Testament, the New Testament, and scrolls that had never been seen before. And what makes this so interesting is that they had these scrolls long before Christianity first came to their society in the 4th century. In other words, Christianity wasn't a religion given to them like most nations. Christianity was already in Ethiopia. Since the 4th century, Ethiopia has been a nation of Christianity. Egyptian traveler, monk, and historian Cosmas Indicopleustes wrote that Ethiopia was a Christian country when he visited there in the middle of the 6th century. He saw how the rulers opened their borders to a lot of Christian refugees who fled to Ethiopia as they ran away from persecution from kingdoms and empires that were against Christianity. Certain Ethiopian tribes have been worshipping the Christian God for over 3,500 years. In such, the oldest organized Christian body in the world is not the Catholic ministry as many would have. You believe? But the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, which is locally known as Tewahdo in Ethiopia. The country also has one of the earliest illustrated Christian books ever found, which is a part of the Gospels written in Ge'ez, an old Ethiopian language, and was found in 2010 in a monastery on top of a mountain in Ethiopia. According to the Kebra Nagast, which is in Ethiopia's holy book, in the 10th century BC, an Ethiopian ruler and the famous biblical Queen of Sheba went to Jerusalem to ask the famous King Solomon for advice. It's even recorded in the acceptable Bible canon, but what the Bible didn't tell us is that the two rulers had a son together named Menelik. Queen Sheba took the boy back to Ethiopia and made him the first emperor. In 2012, experts looked at the genetic makeup of many Ethiopians and found some evidence to support Sheba's journey to Jerusalem and birth there. In such, it is believed that Egyptian, Israeli, or Syrian people may have mixed with the Ethiopian natives around 3,000 years ago, during the time when the queen is said to have ruled the kingdom of Sheba, collaborating the story even further. Despite having all these credentials and authenticity, the Ethiopian Bible is still discarded and not taken as part of the canon of the holy books.
Okay, guys, on that note, I'm going to leave it off right there. But that was really interesting to me. I didn't know half of that. I don't know, did you guys? Because I sure as hell, I did not. But that was really interesting. But anyways, guys, that comes to the end of our video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And on the next one, you already know, I'll see you. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Be safe out there, guys.